Dad, we're starting.
Start without me. I've got one more lap. Learn to think on your feet, like me.
Okay. Welcome to our No Talk Show, episode number 5. We've entitled this one The Foundational Mindset, and we're super excited to share it with you. Doing all right there, Dad? Glad you could make it.
Niki wasn't happy with either of my intros last episode. So studio audience, how did Niki do with my intro today?
Dude, it was like awesome.
Not up to par.
Niki, it seems the younger generation prefers you. It appears appearance may be their sole criterion. Oh Niki, queen of transcendent beauty, may I have the floor now? Regardless of the intro, this episode is the meat of the matter, the crux of all my efforts. I hope you find it epically insightful and transformative, yet still mildly amusing. We already have a question from the studio audience. Yes, young lady.
What's that thingy on your hand?
Great question. Sometimes it takes a child to ask the question on everyone's mind. I have new wrist and finger jewelry adapted to extend the useful life of Heather iPad. Wait, I think Heather wants to say something.
Oh, Master, my gratitude abounds.
And so does my you're welcome-ness. Moving on, nothing to hear here. Soon after my ALS diagnosis, I realized that beyond helping to rear our wonderful family, I hadn't yet made a significant contribution to society. How could I really make a difference in a short time frame? Many societal needs came to mind, but the greatest seemed to be to help eliminate the discord, conflict, and animosity among us, replacing them with learning from and understanding each other. We've all seen the typical debate or argument. Two people or groups of people going at it. Each side digs in their heels. They only listen in order to refute, not to understand nor to consider the value of the opposing view. They may even end on a rather amicable tone saying, let's agree to disagree. Yet they have achieved only the illusion of having communicated. I spent months contemplating how to approach this issue. I was cobbling together a set of tips and skills, but it was too much and didn't feel right. Then I had an epiphany of sorts that eventually led to a simple foundational mindset that does the trick without having to think about which skill to employ. The time has come to reveal to you and to the world what I have termed the foundational mindset for treating each other and self. Here it is in all its glory. Wait for it. Wait for it. Assume good intent, honor human frailty, champion human potential. Let's have a moment of silence in memory of this mindset, of these 3 key phrases. Okay, enough theatrics. Let's say Niki really botched my intro. Without this mindset, I might tell her you sabotaged my intro, you worthless prick. Never again. See how that response assumes malice. doesn't tolerate mistakes and crushes any hopes of improving. However, with this mindset, I don't even have to think about exact wording or delivery, because it comes naturally. I might say, hey, you tried. Even I, the greatest no-talk show host of all time, mess up sometimes. You'll do better next time. Admittedly, in my case, it would take me several minutes to say this, and I would not have a compassionate, hopeful tone, but rather a simple, boring monotone. You, however, can do better than me. Can you see how treating others with this mindset enriches not only relationships but life in general? Wait, there's more. It can even save lives. Imagine that a drug addict, an ever-failing perfectionist, or anyone prone to depression or even suicide adopts this mindset. They would recognize and embrace their own good intent rather than berate themselves. They would understand that frailty is an integral part of the human condition and expect more failures on the path to success. They could even become an exceptional presenter helping thousands of others. I attended several seminars taught by such a man. His name is Kurt Duncan. Many of you may know him or have heard of him. He transformed his life and now helps others do likewise. Oh brother, so little time and much more to say about these epically transformative concepts. Niki, watch the time for me. I'm busy thinking on my feet. Let's start with assumed good intent. Granted, some people may have bad intent. I will not address that directly. Maybe someone else will or has. But I will say this. Such people weren't born with malice. We don't know their story. To a great extent, each of us is a product of our environment. A person that suffers certain hardships may naturally develop a sense of distrust, persecution, rejection, injustice, etc., and act out accordingly. Are we really justified in assigning moral failings upon him or her? My gut tells me that maybe such a person is desperately hoping that someone, anyone, will see the good in them, and then honor their frailty and champion their potential. I wonder if we ought to always assume good intent, even if it is hidden under layers of camouflage. Oh man, time's a ticking. Moving on to honor human frailty. In a nutshell, it means, let's give each other and ourselves a break. And now let's give the nut itself a break and savor the goods inside. We can all point out many instances of human frailty. But what is our attitude and approach when we or others mess up? I propose we honor mistakes and weakness as essential elements of this human experience and of personal growth. I'm not saying we promote misbehavior or mistakes, but such stumbling blocks often become stepping stones. As parents, do we rescue our children on the front end by controlling their every choice so they don't make mistakes? Of course, it's well known that rescuing them on the back end by protecting them from the consequences of their choices also prevents learning. Let's train the next generation to choose wisely and to own their choices. Having the mindset we're discussing is a healthy way to do this. I have fond memories of our children mispronouncing as they learned to speak and even of their misdeeds as they grew. For example, Niki's younger brother called her Icky, and he called our dog Yucky instead of Lucky. So it was Icky and Yucky. Our children have learned and don't repeat those mistakes or misdeeds. I think no less of them for their mishaps, because mistakes are important stepping stones to reach their full potential. This is why I'm against whitewashing the past. Let's not pretend mistakes weren't made. Rather, let's own them and honor them as stepping stones not to be repeated. I'm Amumia. We're out of time and we still have to discuss champion human potential. And it's got a boatload of insightful gems. Regrettably, this episode will have to be continued. It is just too meaty to consume in one meal. Watch for the conclusion sometime after you have time to digest today's content. Sorry for leaving you with a cliffhanger. Not. Thank you for watching this partial episode of the mildly amusing, intensely insightful, No Talk Show. TTFN, for those of the older generation, that means ta-ta for now.